Hi everybody, this is Reinhard here. Today I'm going to speak to you about what is a air source heat pump. So air source heat pumps, what is it and how does it work? So I get these questions every day, so I want to just share this information with you. So what is a heat pump and how does it work? A heat pump is basically, it looks like on the outside of the property, it looks like an air conditioning unit. So there's a big box, and it's got a fan in, and there's a couple of other components in there. There's a compressor and a condenser and a valve set. These are a bit technical, but that's the outside unit. There's also another unit which is on the inside, and that is your hot water cylinder. And a hot water cylinder, it needs to be connected to the outside unit, and these two things work together. The outside unit, that's where the compressor, that's where the energy comes. The outside unit takes energy out of the air and it puts it into a liquid, into water, and it warms the hot water cylinder. And that hot water cylinder then gives you domestic hot water for your baths and your taps and your showers. And it also gives you space heating. So if it's going to go through your underfloor heating, it's going to be connected from the hot water cylinder. It's going to be connected to your manifold for your underfloor heating, or it will be connected to your radiator circuit for your radiator for space heating. That's kind of in a nutshell how a heat pump works. So how does it need to be installed? The outside unit, which looks like an air conditioning unit, cannot be placed any closer than 1 meter away from the boundary fence of your property. It can't be on the wall of your neighbors, and it can't be on the fence of the neighbor as well. It's got to be 1 meter away from the boundary fence. And how far can we put these things? Well, it can be wall mounted, it can be put on the gable end, it can be put under the kitchen window at the back of the property, can be put behind the garage. There's many ways, and every house is different, so there's no set for where these heat pumps can be positioned. And then it can be that the outside unit, it can be further away from the property as well. It does make the installation slightly more complex, but what can be done, and we've done this in the past, is from the outside location, if it's a little bit further, we will get a trench between the outside unit and the side of the property. The pipe works will then be going into that trench, a communications cable, as well as a power supply for the heat pump. Those things will go in the trench. It will be backfilled after that, and then it goes roughly 1 meter under the ground. And what that does is there's no heat loss out of the pipes. So when the heat gets generated in the heat pump, which is the outside unit, it goes from there, it needs to go to the hot water cylinder. And in that space, however long that is, we need to have as little heat loss from those pipes and energy loss from those heated water as possible. So we need to insulate that. That's kind of the way that it goes from the outside unit to the inside unit. As soon as it gets to the hot water cylinder, the hot water cylinders are generally slightly larger as what you will have. It's kind of, many people have got mega flows in their properties. It's kind of the same size as that. There's a valve set on there. There's some pipes on the outside of the units of the hot water cylinder, and then from there, it should be fairly simple. If you've got an existing hot water cylinder in an airing cupboard, or in the loft, or in a utility room, then it's fairly easy to install those new hot water cylinders from our side. If you've got a combination boiler, it's slightly different, because then we need to just make sure that the pipe work from the existing boiler, we need to connect that And now you're going to have a hot water cylinder, which you haven't had when you had a combination boiler. So that's kind of the things that we look at with this. So that is in a nutshell what is a heat pump, how does it work. There's many resources on the internet where you can find how does a heat pump work, but the long and the short is there's an outside unit, there's an inside unit. These two things needs to be connected. You do need a hot water cylinder from your heat pump now, from your new air source heat pump on the inside of the property. It needs to work like that. That is to give you both hot water, domestic hot water, as well as space heating. So that's kind of in a nutshell how that works. Every property is different. We will need to understand your property slightly better to be able to give you the best advice on your property and how to get a heat pump on your property. Great. So there's many types of integrating systems together. The integration that I'm talking about here is integration between different technologies, integration between underfloor heating, solar panels, solar thermal, that is hot water panels, mechanical ventilation. All of these things can work together, and it will ultimately pull the heat, your energy consumption. It will be less and less the more efficient your property is. So basically, the better the envelope is, the higher insulated your property is. That's kind of what we're looking at when integrating these technologies. Great. So thanks for listening to this video. I hope it was helpful. What is a heat pump? So I've just explained that now. If you need any further assistance, if you think that a heat pump can be a viable solution for your property, please make contact with us and let us see what we can offer you as the best case scenario. The consultation is 100% free, so please make contact with us. Let's have a chat, see if we can help you at all. All right, hope to speak to you soon. All the best. Bye-bye.